Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and I have another great show planned for us. But while we wait for people to gather in the chat, let me go off and show off some artwork from my own upcoming graphic novel, Scumdogs, okay? We're going to be looking at creatures and other monsters tonight and having some fun. But here we go. Here is my extreme 90s cover. This cover I did to harken back to the comic books of the 90s. This looks pretty good. This is for my graphic novel, Scumdogs. Scumdogs is a parody comic book. I parody the cartoons we all knew and loved when we were growing up as kids. You'll see characters that will remind you of them from the 80s and 90s and stuff from those cartoons. Now, the Scumdogs themselves, well, they're supervillains out to take over the world. You can see my main characters on this cover. You can see Deathmug, leader of the Scumdogs, an arrogant dictator who wants to rule the world, fighting his archenemy Buick Starpoon, the guy with the pink pompadour hair and the space hero outfit, or rather the astronaut outfit over there, or rather, it looks like a sci-fi outfit, who's basically a G.I. Joe parody and stuff like that. Now, Deathmug is basically made up of different villains from 80s cartoons. Like Skeletor from He-Man, he's got a skull face. Like the villains of G.I. Joe, the leaders of Cobra, like Cobra Commander, he has a metal mask. Like Serpentor, he's got gold on him, and he's purple, like the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, Buick Starpoon, the guy with the pink pompadour hair, him and the rest of his team are G.I. Joe parodies. But he's basically a parody of the space captain archetype as well, space opera heroes, like Zap Brannigan, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, Buzz Lightyear, Buck Rogers, those kinds of characters. He leads his men who are, he and his men go out and fight the Scumdogs every day and save the universe. He's an arrogant military type of character, like parody on like G.I. Joe characters. In fact, all of his members of his team in the Space Forces are parodies of G.I. Joe characters. He is basically a no-nonsense military type of guy who keeps doing the wrong thing, even though he keeps doing the same thing, even though it's wrong. Doesn't care because he thinks he's right no matter what. So he keeps making disasters, but he ends up fighting and basically is defeating the Scumdogs. Yeah, I suppose he's that kind of idiot. He's a big moron and stuff like that. Yet the idea is going to be fun. Now, the other members of his team are on this cover as well. This guy over here with the mohawk, he's another member of the Buick Starpoon's team in the Space Forces. His name is Roadhog. His military specialty, because they're all G.I. Joe parodies, and that means they each have a military specialty that they do in the military, something they're good at. He's an army guy. Before he joined up with Buick Starpoon, he was part of the army. That's his military specialty. Then you have this bald guy with a gun down here in the blue uniform. His name is Beach Pounder. His military specialty is that he's a Marine, just another Marine. Then you have this guy back here in the red uniform firing off his weapons. The guy in the red uniform. His name is Blast Tank. His military specialty is that he's a heavy vehicle specialist, a tanker. Yeah, they're each G.I. Joe parodies in there, but they're going to be fun when you read about them in my graphic novel. So you have that to look forward to. Now let's go over here. Here we have Girl Friday, another member of the Wild Rangers. That's the name of Buick Starpoon's team in the Space Forces. She was assigned to work directly under Buick Starpoon because while the Wild Rangers fight the Scumdogs and save the universe, they're also complete morons whose idea of saving something is basically setting it on fire, burning it down and destroying it. Well, the Scumdogs can't take it then and take it over, so I guess that does count as, saving it. Not really. Well, she was assigned to basically head off she was assigned to work directly under Buick Starpoon to head off criticism from people who basically had their stuff destroyed by her superiors in the Space Forces. And she hates Buick Starpoon. She hates her job because she thinks she's a little better than basically a sitter or a minder. Because she's basically, her career in the military is over, and she's basically just a baby, or it's just a sitter and stuff like that, and watching a bunch of morons. That's Girl Friday. By the way, folks, hit that like button for me because it helps me fight the algorithm. And the more people that see my content means my graphic novel Scumdogs comes out to all all to you all the faster. I work on my book every day, and when it's up, it'll be up on Indiegogo, folks. So go check it out. And by the way, folks, remember, go if you want to watch this video again directly after my live stream is done, go to @77megachris1 on Twitter. That's my Twitter page. It'll be the first pinned tweet, because YouTube tends to basically suppress in all videos and stuff like that, or basically bury my videos, and at least for 24 hours, because then 24 hours or so, then you can watch it on my YouTube channel. But if you want to watch it again, go to @77megachris1 on Twitter. Now, also hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications, and please go share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. Just a moment, folks. I forgot to do something just now. Let me go over here real quickly. Do this. Cut. Go over to here. Yeah, Let's do this. Let's do this. On now. Use the. Yeah, I'm getting this up there up on YouTube. So you know this. Yeah, share this out. Go to profile, and well, then I'll unpin, then pin this one to my profile. So there, at @77megachris1, it'll take you directly to my this new video. So remember that. Also, I probably should share this out real quickly. Just a moment, folks. Let me get this done. This and stuff. All right. Get this here. Yeah, got that all done. That's good. Now let's go back over here, and let me get my artwork back up here. Yeah, remember also to hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications from my videos. And please, yeah, share this out on Twitter and Facebook. Well, share it out anywhere. All right, now we'll look at Deathmug's henchmen, because you know in all 80s cartoons, the main villain of the cartoon would have henchmen, and they'd be idiots. These are my idiots. The pink guy down here is Sloppy, and the blue guy with the top hat up here is Murdermouth. They're a parody of every henchman from an 80s cartoon. There are a couple of idiots that do whatever Deathmug says, but they keep screwing up and basically, well, making everything worse. They're going to be funny as hell when you read about them in a graphic novel, so go check it out when it's up on Indiegogo. All right, now we'll look at Hair Metal Doctor, who's basically a parody of Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe, a mad scientist. But my mad scientist is also a hair metal musician, because I think that's awesome. He thinks of all the machines the scumdogs use to try and take over the universe. He does it while rocking out. He's Hair Metal Doctor. And here we have Miss Breasty Melons. Miss Breasty Melons is a parody of the Baroness from G.I. Joe. But unlike the Baroness, she's a party girl who wants to have fun. She only became a villain to have fun. She's only doing this to have fun. She is basically a fun little character here. And people have said, yeah, now remember, the Hair Metal Doctor pinup and the Miss Breasty Melons pinup you see here will be included with other pinups in my graphic novel when you back it. But I will also get these pinups out to you on t-shirts for you to buy from Crypto Fashion as soon as I'm able to make them. So know that. Now we looked at my artwork. Let's go exit out of this. Let's go maybe to Indiegogo real quick and see what's up there for a while before we look at cryptids and stuff. Now, Wrath of God has made 47,382. Ultra, not bad. U.S. Assassin Book 3, Graveyard Shift, has made 14,142. Mandy Summers' new book, check. The Ripper, Vampire Hunter, has made 33,680 with 7 days left. That's great. Let's see. Earthbound Part 2 has made 68,200. Star Circuit has made 18,452. Not bad. Alien Alamo has made 95,146. Not bad. Let's refresh this page, though, and see if anything new has come up. Wrath of God has made 47,415 with 27 days left. She and Nimbus has made 148,840 now, and it's funding through in demand. US Assassin Book 2, Graveyard Shift has made 14,142 with 28 days left. Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter has made 33,680. Speed of Light 2 has made 1,110. Cyberfrog's Magnetic Starfolio has made 116,000. Over 116,000. Well, yeah, over 116,000. Right. Freaky Tales 3 is made at 1,295. Earthbound Part 2 is made 68,200. And Alien Alamo is made 95,146. Let's go over here real quick to Alien Alamo. This book looks good. You can back it for $25. You have a choice of 3 different covers. The story, it's 1957. The Russians have just launched a satellite into orbit. World was changing. War veteran Travis Houston was struggling to adapt. All Travis wanted when he mustered out of the Marine Corps at the end of the war was some peace and quiet and a safe place to raise his son, James, but the horrors he experienced in the Pacific and the death of his wife have left him empty and distant. The meteor shower changed all that, only it wasn't a meteor shower, it was an invasion. Creatures from another world want ours, and the only thing standing between them is a man and a boy. The Houstons are vastly outnumbered. They are Texans, and they have each other, so the odds might just be even. As I said, you have 3 different covers you can choose from. Each of them looks good. Yeah. But you can also get the Chinook with this campaign as well. For if you can you can get Alien Alamo and the Chinook together for, $50 right here. That looks good as well. Both these comic books look great, and yeah, they look good. Now let's go over here. Let's see. First Man Learning Curve First Man 2 Learning Curve is made 19,251. The new First Man, it's got 23 days left and it looks good. Mavericks Origins 1 is made 13,780. God Like the Romulus Saga is made 146,000. Over 146,000 with 8 days left. Work the Wizard is made 13,235. Now, Cyberfrog First Wave action figures. There's also Final Boss, which is made 43,813 with 16 days left. First Wave Cyberfrog here looks pretty good. The action figures look great. Here's what the boxes that come in look like. You can back each of these. The Vespid action figure, because it's bigger, will cost you $75, but all the action figures, regular ones, will cost you only $40. Get the Heather Swan action figure for $40. Get the 90s Cyberfrog action figure for $40. But the modern Cyberfrog action figure, you can get it for $40 as well. All of them, they all look good. Each of them will come with accessories and stuff like that for your book. And each of them is fully articulated and equal to any action toy you can buy in a store right now. Yeah, that looks good. You can buy, they look good. They're fully articulated and are awesome looking. Each of them will come with the exchangeable hands and heads. This campaign is made $476,034 with 11 days left. That looks good. So let's look at the updates real quick. Doesn't look like anything new has come up. Too bad. Yeah, but these action figures look awesome. You can back them for a good price, and I have to say they are beautiful looking. Cyberfrog First Wave action figures are up on Indiegogo. Go back them, and you'll enjoy them. Now, maybe we should go look at some more stuff. Yeah, let's see. Last time I did a cryptid corner, I said I had Ultraterrestrials on it, and I was going to do some stories on them because I found a new website with a bunch of, I found a bunch of good-looking articles to look through. Where are they? Here they are. Over here, I found a bunch of new articles on Ultraterrestrials, fairies, and such weird creatures. Does Earth itself create UFOs, ghosts, and fairies? As I said, I wanted to take a look at this, but we'll also be looking at new Bigfoot stories as well. Sasquatch encountered in South Fork Sincomola River in King Country, huh? Let's go look at this article first. A big rig driver would regularly stop at the South Fork Sincomola River to take a dip. On this one occasion, he came face to face with a Sasquatch at the river's edge. I recently came across the following account. I used to stop at this location to swim and occasionally bathe every time I was passing through, which was frequently South Fork Single River, King Country, Washington. King Country. I would park my big rig up on the southern side of the highway off-ramp, look her up, grab some soap, my SB, and sell my 1911 wrapped in a towel, and head down in my trunks. Don't matter if it was winter or summertime. I love the shock of cold water and firmly believe it's healthy for you. One day, just before 11 a.m., I arrived and headed down to the side of the hill to access the water when I saw something tall, brown, and hairy. I sometimes tried to tell myself that it was brown bear running out on its hind legs, but the way it moved was eerily human-like. It was at the water's edge, and I was surprised him because I liked to sneak down into the area super quietly because sometimes I'd see deer or coons. I didn't snap any branches and moved quite recon. One odd thing that happened is that I know I made eye contact, but something about its presence made me want to look away. Normally, I'm the type of person that would not only stare, but probably have taken pictures with my Samsung Galaxy. But I felt suddenly foggy. Feeling hit me, and a strong urge to run away came over me, which I fought against and overcome. Secondly, I saw where this entity started from, and it disappeared to. I counted 15 seconds from the time it started up and running smoothly, and it disappeared behind large trees in the area. After I revisited the site, I attempted to cover the same path myself, running it, and the best time I could get is 60 plus seconds. It's a huge distance and I'm in excellent shape. I run, lift weights, and train regularly. I've never spoken about this to anyone, but even my wife, who would probably look at me different. Say, stay up near the road and fly your drones and over the trees and down into the river center lane to get a clear view of both banks. If it's been showing or raining, the river can be violent. Usually it's about 6 to 8 feet deep. Good luck. Here are the coordinates. Here are where they are. Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting right there. This guy saw Bigfoot. All right. Unexplained incident, malevolent coloring, the Polish unexplained incident, Polish fur in this forest, huh? A Polish man retells a frightening account told to him grandma when she was a girl. She walked into a supernatural forest where a malevolent circular clearing, asked her to enter. Ooh, sounds like something we're going to be looking at tonight, huh? I always wanted to send you some paranormal stories from my family that I have gathered. However, I was always worried that I won't be able to write them as English is not my first language. I will try my best. As I said, I like to gather paranormal stories from my family. I have a lot of them, and some of them are really disturbing, but this one is the oldest and one I heard. It happened to my grandmother just after the Second World War in the autumn of 1945 in Poland. My grandmother was 14 years old. Now, a few words about where it happened. My grandmother, when telling the story, always thought that it was very relevant and linked to the history of this place. My grandmother lived and still lives in a very small village in Poland. It was only about 900 inhabitants now, but when it happened, it was probably a bit more. The village is located around a huge old forest. There was a monastery there during medieval times. The hill at the edge of it, but was destroyed by fire. That's a historical fact, and there are documents describing the event. No one is sure where exactly the monastery stood. Yeah, where it was. Well, most likely now the forest consumed it when it was spreading through. Spreading. Huh? This sounds like might have to do with ultraterrestrials as well, huh? Hundreds of years of growth as a very religious person. My grandma thinks what happened to her is associated with the monastery and its unusual history. The locals believe the monastery was actually destroyed by God himself in rage because the monks used to sin with female monks and perform satanic rituals. Of course, that's just a legend. There are no facts to support this. Early autumn of 1945, the country was destroyed by fire, first by the Germans and then by the Soviet counterattack. Food was scarce. Polish people love picking up mushrooms, and nowadays it's like a family pastime to spend time together and enjoy nature. The time it was also necessary to survive. Mushrooms were a source of food that was lacking, and so my grandma went to the forest in search of mushrooms to cook and eat. It was just a normal day walking around the forest looking for mushrooms. Yeah, cool, huh? When she cool, this is good for when she looking for mushrooms. Let's get back to this article. Looking for mushrooms when she found herself standing at the edge of a circular field grass in the middle of the forest. She noticed that the field was a perfect circle of about 15, maybe 20 meters in diameter. She described it as the most perfect circle. The trees around were growing in a perfect line. Not even one branch was reaching toward the interior. The circle was full of green, short grass. As she walked at the edge, it sounded all the background sound was gone. Like if you put your head underwater. She wasn't deaf completely, as you could still hear the sounds made by herself, like leaves under her feet. But all the background sounds of the wind, trees, birds, insects were suddenly gone, like someone unplugged the sound. The other worst thing was the feeling she got. She felt something really evil coming from the field, and she could feel whatever it was. It was desperate to lure her into the field. It wasn't like she could hear this thing talking. No, it was feeling in the air. Something very malicious. It was desperate to make her go inside the circular grassy field to do something bad. Again, it was angry and desperate, like its very existence depended on it. Grandma, of course, very scared, understood that she has to walk away, and no matter what, she could not enter the field. So she turned and started to walk away. But after a short stroll, she moved through some dense bushes. Well, she was standing again in the very same place at the edge of the grassy field. It was the exact same place. It wasn't like that she walked around, was on the opposite side of it. It was exactly the same spot. She could see the grass best bent previously by her feet, the exact same trees around. Now she also felt, well, it it was getting angry and more impatient to lure inside the field. She turned exactly 180 degrees away from the field and made sure to walk in a perfect straight line through the forest, away from the field. It didn't work. She was on the very same spot again. She tried 2 or 3 more, but every time with the same result, walking away in a straight line, moving through thick trees and bushes to end up standing at the very same place. The presence in the field was getting angrier, asked my grandmother many times. How could she know that? She couldn't explain. It was just something she felt near, big, evil presence, very malicious, intent being desperate to lure her into the field to do something bad to her, like its very existence depended on it. Grandma was getting desperate. She knew there was no escape. She did the only logical thing she thought she could do at the time. She sat on the edge and started praying to God to save her. Some long time crying and praying, she hears a distant sound behind her, a sound of a cow. It was very far, but due to the complete silence, lack of other sounds, very clear, a cow far away. She rose to her feet, listening. There it was again. She started to walk towards the sound, still praying. The sound was rare but repeating. With each step, she could hear it was getting closer, and like before, with many attempts to leave the circular field, only to come upon it again and again. This time, she was making some actual progress. She was still walking and could tell she was getting closer and closer to the cow. She assumed there must be another field or meadow, and the cow must be outside of the forest. Then she could hear the cow very clearly. It couldn't have been more than 4 meters away. As she pressed on, she came upon a clearing from between the trees. She started to run those last few steps to hear this cow. She could clearly hear it, despite all of the other sounds. Until being completely silent, she burst out of the forest, another field or pasture, a clearing. Suddenly, all the sounds were back, like someone plugged it in again. She was standing in a pasture with the fields and the village below the hill. All the sounds were back, the wind, the birds, the insects, all except the cow. There wasn't any. The window was empty. She looked back, thinking that the cow might have entered the forest, but didn't see it. She didn't dare go back into the forest to look for it, and she ran back home. Yeah, maybe God did that. Now, my grandmother believes that what happened was somehow linked monastery with its sinful monks, and it was God who saved her, hearing her prayer. She's a religious person. She believes that whatever it was in the field, it had to be the devil. She said that later she thought that it had to be trapped there for centuries, looking for someone to possess, trying to get so it could get out. I'm not a religious person, so I don't know what to think of it. Was it some spirits, bad energy, different dimensions? I don't know. I know that the story is true. She wouldn't make it up. My grandmother went back to the forest many times, but always felt scared when remembering what happened on that day. I also went there numerous times without any experience, but the forest in particular saw a lot of death. were heavy flights there during the war, and it's a very popular place to commit suicide, not only by the locals, but also people who come from there around the country. Interesting. Yeah, it's good. Let's go down here a bit. Interesting story to look at. Very interesting. So what do you think? What do you think about it? What do you think? Want to read some more stories? I got this story here. Does Earth herself create UFOs, ghosts, and fairies? Take a look at that one. I mean, honestly, what did that woman experience? What was it? It was a very interesting tale, but could it have been real, or was she making it up? He says that she didn't, but it also sounds like something we've seen before in actual fiction. The woman constantly, basically, the woman constantly finding herself on the same edge of that area where that was trying to lure her inside. What could that possibly be? What would want to do that? Could be some supernatural ghost, evil entity that wanted to get out of that area. Could be. But why? If it was so powerful that it could make her come back again and again, every time she turned around, she found herself at the edge of that area, the edge of that grass, of that plain. What could make her that grass plain, or should I say just plain? What could make it her? If it was powerful enough to keep teleporting her back there? I guess it must have needed her to willingly go inside of it, to go deep into that field. I guess. Don't understand why, if it was that powerful. But then she prayed to God, and that was a good thing. And she heard a cow, and it was it was basically brought out of it. Very interesting. Very good. Very interesting. Yeah. So let's go look at this. Are we standing on a gigantic alien? Did this enormous living, breathing alien create us? We live and die on her back. Of course, Mother Earth is not an alien. She is the least alien of all of us. She is Earth. Least alien, huh? Least alien, huh? We humans give lip service to the fact that Earth is Earth is a live planet, but then we do not dig into the astounding implications. We don't take time from our busy schedule to truly perceive that if she is a living mind, she must have a dream state, just as we do. She must have a subconscious. Our ancestors understood the Earth as a dynamic mind and spirit, which must be recognized. They possessed beliefs such as Earth being a large terrapin on whose back we sit. They worshipped her. Perhaps they were wise. New Agers embraced nature spirits and must use the word Gaia to describe Earth's living consciousness. However, even many New Agers get caught up in the fun of crystals, gemstones, fairies, such, but do not recognize the fact that Gaia herself might be the creator of UFOs and their occupants, as well as the creator of fairies, nature spirits, and even the creator of paranormal events like ghosts. Most New Agers, and most of all us, look into space or time as the source of UFOs, and the human subconscious somehow mixed into creating fairies and paranormal events. Okay. However, what if Mother Earth dreams? Why do we not think of this? Is it because we don't take time to perceive that she truly is a living consciousness? Oh, by the way, folks, feel free to leave me a few chats because I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay? Let's get back to this article. In-depth knowing as in gnosis, the Earth is, in-depth knowing as gnosis, that Earth is a living creature begins strangely enough with the insight into alien intelligence. We try to imagine the intellect and intelligence and enlightenment of various aliens. Are they logical like Mr. Spock? Are they vicious with no moral compass like the creature in Alien? Are they Time Lords like Doctor Who? Very civilized, somewhat confused, near masters of time, all time, and no time? Ask yourself then, what is the intelligence, intellect, and enlightenment of this huge creature called Earth? Or you could say she's not the kind of not that kind of creature. She doesn't truly feel. She does not truly think. She is a rock with all soil in some places, H2O in other places, and far too many humans for her own good. No doubt you call her it. But you agree that life on the other space will come in different forms. You wonder if silicon might be a building block for life instead of carbon, yet you deny that this wondrous plan who gave us life and also created 6 billion of very living species is truly an entity. Well, yeah, is truly alive. Where did our intelligence come from? Where did the intelligence of the barn swallow and the redwood tree come from? If you are a Christian or another religion, you might feel that God or your deity created life. If you have a deity, it is Earth, and I can prove she created life here because here we are. How often do you hear that God saved the day while Mother Nature sent that tornado? Maybe Mother Nature saved the day and God sent the tornado. My point is, we brought up to be prejudiced towards our planet. She is a witch who brings tornadoes. If she is alive at all, there's a bias against the female god. That's a bias against the female planet. So, as we humans emerge from the brainwashed state imposed by religions, saying that a female god is good, that may be just as bad. Well, maybe it's just as good. Hard to say. God could be female. God is the planet, or something like that. Let's comprehend what our planet really is and who she really is. She is a being who dreams. She is a being who has a subconscious state. Her conscious state has created the wondrous order of the rainforest with predator-prey adaptation, survival, brilliance. Her conscious state has created the mighty ocean with its exquisite ecosystems. Her conscious state is not quite like yours. She is an alien, that she is not human. She created humans, but she is something and somehow much different. Where is her brain, you ask? It is everywhere, from the massive minds of swallows to the long memory of elephants. It's not encapsulated in her one little skull in your brain. Her intelligence is everywhere, right outside your window and in your Yosemite and in the and in the and everywhere. Or it's where it is. Sorry if I sound a bit tired, folks. Let me get back to doing this article a bit better. Whew. Perhaps to meet aliens, we need to first be able to perceive the consciousness of our planet. What about Earth's subconscious state? Does she dream? I assume that every conscious mind has a subconscious level. Every spirit rests and sleeps. Does she dream of humans or shadow ghost beings, perhaps from the 1800s century, which of course included her, the Earth? Does she dream of Yetis, Bigfoot creatures? Perhaps she has suppressed wish that she had created them too. Are her memories of the man-ape combinations which Homo sapiens eventually exterminated? Which humans man-ape that we exterminated them, huh? I can't have my doubts. Sometimes ghosts are in locations and other times they cannot be found. Yetis are seen but then are not anywhere. Perhaps they are only there when her subconscious is active. Earth must enjoy dreaming of fairies and spirits, trolls. Why not conjure them up and dream they are frightening a few humans? Place a spirit on the beautiful waterfall. How lovely. And what of UFO occupants? Well, Earth mostly likes the humanoid design, and like us, we dream. She mostly dreams of humanoids. Once in a while, she manifests a reptile, or she dreams of another humanoid. But what of the alien ships? Earth has a knowingness about what humans have created, airplanes and such. Earth has a sense of the future, and perhaps she tries to show the humans her creations that the future is real. She dreams of a future reality for her creations. In fact, her entire complex system of evolutions was set up by Earth. It may exist on other planets, but we know it exists on Earth. Where did it come from? God, science? It happens over time, or the mind of the Earth? Why do we sell her so short? And of course, she would dream of critters in the sky like flying manta ray, UFOs, and beautiful translucid orbs. I am not selling the idea as a total answer, but I have said before, I do feel that UFO occupants also come from far distant planets, from time itself, from other dimensions, all of the above, and then some. However, I am also convinced dream state of our mother planet is something which we have not begun to even try to comprehend. Carl did touch on this, others, and the concept of a morphic field and consciousness can be applied to Earth as well as to humans. Her consciousness and subconscious are most likely resonating in her electromagnetic field. The EM field of our brain is said to be instrumental in our intelligence. So why do we not consider that Earth's mighty EM field, the Aurora Borealis, and so much more, that magnificent EM field which our planet maintains, also contains her intelligence. Her EM field crackles and fluctuates. What is encoded in this energy? What consciousness dwells there? Yes, it's different from ours. For one thing, it's so much greater than ours. However, it's different. We still, however, this. However different, we still reflect her. She is our mother, the creator of life. Could she do this without being a living creature herself? Frankly, I don't intend to worry about being abducted this summer. I will not cower as little worry about UFOs, aliens, the warm, soft summer night which Gaia will have given to me. I will not expect the worst of aliens to show up, whether I will expect the best of aliens to come out there under the stars. Perhaps we can celebrate planet Earth, living energy, beauty, free of Earth's summer night, and I demand that the universe open its secrets to me. On second thought, maybe a humble request. Maybe I just make a humble request, huh? That was an interesting article to read through, folks. Let's go look at some more stuff. Do we participate in manifesting fairies and UFOs? Folklore, fairy, which is Ace Folklore Guide in Etymology, fairies, witches, and other such, various weird things, like aliens. Let's get into this article, huh? All right. Let me do this. One does have to believe in the world of words, But it also helps to know the meaning of the world's words while one is visiting when in Rome. E.T. Fairies, witches. Read the future of our world's words based on our history and etymology. It's a fun pastime. Alien, strange, foreign. E.g. alien, strange form, alien, stranger form. Oh, so this is basically talking about this. I think it isn't really an article. So this is basically talking about what people have written about these creatures, what they are. Oh, not actually an article I really want to read. Too bad. Whew. By the way, folks, hit that like button for me. It really helps me fight the algorithm, okay? So more people can see my content. Yeah, the more people that see my content means my graphic novel Scumdogs come that all the sooner. So please go hit that like button. As well as please hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications for my videos. And remember, if you want to watch this video again, just go to my Twitter page at 777megachris1, and it'll be the first pinned tweet for the next 24 hours. Now, let's see. Please go share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. Not done yet, folks. Let's go read some more. Be nice to fairies or beware abducted by fairies. Let's look at this. Abducted by fairies. Dr. Raul D'Ontario, UFO investigator based in Luma, his investigative efforts to take him to remote areas of his home, where he lives. Where impoverished peasants still speak rather than Kurucha, and believe in hodgepodge of pagan Christian beliefs. Peru is a department of the Paru is a department of the country he lives in. It's approximately 875 kilometers northwest of his town. Of his hometown. Its inhabitants are friendly and welcoming, are closely bound with the shamans and how do I say that word? I think I'll just skip that one with shamans and stuff. There are regions such as Kakakoas and Masafu, which pagan rituals combine with Catholicism to the point of confusion. It is therefore not surprising that this should be the reason why many interested in the paranormal, and merely those who are devotees of faith, healing, esoteric, or the tarot would visit this Peruvian region. If only for a quick throw of the cards, I had the opportunity at my own request to visit this area in in order to treat the victims of the atmospheric phenomenon known as El Nino. El, that atmospheric phenomenon. I feel if anyone has any doubts that this land in which the Mocha or much of pre-Hispanic culture has flourished, which holds a special attraction, all they have to do is pay a visit. Pay it a visit. Or pay a visit. The attraction, all they have to do is pay it. Well, they will be not be disappointed. The following account of one of many which I will have been able to gather, many of those with whom I come into contact with could not believe that a man of science like myself should have any interest in what they term friendly stories. The audio tapes I brought with me, a box of 10 90-minute tapes, were insufficient for the task, and I tried to undertake the painful task of erasing some of my music tapes in order to record what villagers were telling me were inexplicably were telling me were inexplicably quotation events. I myself never really, I myself never believed in such things, Doctor. Even now, I don't know what to think. These were the words from which Don, was a man named Don, a Peruvian farmer in the town of Cactus, began his story. His small farm is located some 2 meters southeast of a town and stuff. He lives off his crops, Caticos anyway. He lives off his crops and a few animals he raises. The region's heat and proximity to the equator, only some 220 kilometers away, causes the well-known albarus trees, mangroves, and banana plants to grow. Modesto has lived for almost 10 years with Mr. Olivia Ventura, with whom he has 3 children. Olivia. Manuel, their children's names and stuff. I think I'll just skip that. He would have been 5 years old next April, despite the strong customs which reign in the Peruvian locales, in which the Catholic Church still preserve in its predominance. Although there are numerous sects and new churches which have attracted followers for reasons we shall not discuss here. Modesto and Elga never married. They don't believe it necessary to sign a contract that they may someday find has expired. They prefer to live together for no other reason, Doctor. The approximately 10-acre farm is at its center, the small house in which the family resides. The 2 eldest children were baptized as soon as they were born in step with Catholic traditions, but when it came to Evelyn's term, something unexpected had happened. The local priest died. For this reason, a priest from the region of Flores, some 25 kilometers away, would come to Caticos every Sunday for the Eucharist and confession. I went to talk to him, Doctor. I begged him, but the producer didn't want to. He told me that all ceremonies had to be done in Flores. He even pointed out to me that a few couples wished to marry, and he had to turn them down, saying he'd only been entrusted with the Sunday masses. I knew Pedro would soon arrive, and he would be able to do these things. I wanted to baptize my Evelyn where she was born, because the baptizer in another place where I don't know anyone and where I have no friends doesn't seem right to me. The time went by, and the priest never showed up. Evelyn remained unbaptized. My daughter grew up pretty. She's still tall and had gray eyes. At first, my friends laughed at me, saying that she wasn't my daughter and that Olga had certainly deceived me, because how could my daughter have gray eyes with when both me and my wife have have different colored eyes? According to Olga, Evelyn was the most rambunctious of all our children, although she was also the strangest. There were times when she would sit on the ground and start talking, even shouting and laughing. Other times she'd climb up the trees and would begin talking alone. My wife told me this was normal and told me to take her to the doctor because the girl was suddenly going insane. The doctor referred to a young lady who asked Evelyn to draw pictures. As she showed her little figures, the young lady told me Evelyn was at the age in which kids have imaginary friends and that it would stop when she went to school. Last June, Evelyn climbed onto one of the carob trees. Olga had seen her climbing up and down the carob tree for a number of days. The girl would stay up there for 3 hours at a time, talking alone. Evelyn told her mother that she had little friends of her own size and that she was the only one that could see them. They would show her their toys and even offered her their food. When Modesta went to speak to the psychologist, he showed her Evelyn's drawings and told her that some children may see things, but this girl had counted the three little figures and given them names. She would tell me about her little friend and told me that the food they fed her was transparent and sweet like gelatin. There were times that when she would stop playing with her brothers and climb up the blessed tree, and like Olga is a strong believer in the occult, on occasion he has insulted seers, sorcerers, and shamans. The town shaman told him that when a child remains unbaptized, it can be communicated with beings from other dimensions, which we commonly know as fairies. Well, Westerners speak of fairy treasures. In this case, Evelyn never discussed treasures, only the food and game and pranks they played. The shamans told Modesto the child must be baptized before they conquered her, for they took her. Or they conquered her, huh? Hmm. Interesting. He told me that he could baptize her because otherwise she would be with the demons. God did not make fairies, they are envoys of the evil one. Can often cause problems for the families to whom they appear. When Olga learned that her husband wanted the shaman to baptize Evelyn, she retorted that the shaman wasn't a priest and that their daughter would only be baptized by a man of the cloth. They made an agreement with the shaman to come to my house. I would send my wife to visit her mother, and since Evelyn was always up on the tree, I would make her stay. The shaman reached Modesto's home, and according to him, he could feel the devil's presence. He prayed and chased the enemy off. Everyone took places that planned the shaman baptized Evelyn with a special oil he kept in a bottle. He told me that he carried holy oil blessed in the Hurangas, and that it is not only served him to have God bless her, but it would also bring my little angel joy and happiness. Evelyn was baptized in strict privacy as per the ritual imposed by the shaman, and her father being the only witness. The shaman asked Modesto not to wash the girl's head for 2 days. He agreed, and the shaman departed. After the baptism, Evelyn returned to the tree and cried discontentedly. It seemed as if someone was chastising her, and she cried as if when her mother reproved her. Olga returned in the afternoon, and that very same day, what they called the kidnapping took place. I was on my hammock enjoying the air when I saw little Evelyn climb the tree after my wife got home. Now she was talking and laughing as if drunk. I thought she was playing as usual and didn't pay much attention. At a given moment, everything went quiet and the sky grew cloudy. All of a sudden, it seemed as if a massive rainstorm was about to fall. So, since there was usually no lightning when it rains that way, I went to the tree where I last seen Evelyn, but she was no longer there. Modesto thought that Evelyn had gone to the house, but he was surprised that he hadn't seen her come down upon entering the home. Evelyn, a shaman, bless your child. It's a bad idea. Which was upon entering her home, which was some 30 meters away from the tree, he asked his wife about the child. Olga told me she'd been up on the tree and that should still be in the blessed tree because she hadn't seen her come down. Modesto returned to the tree, checked the adjacent ones, but could see nothing. Olga ran out shouting desperately, but it was all in vain. At that moment, Olga approached the tree and climbed up to find some trace of her daughter, but only found something like cobweb on the trunk, which was slightly burned. It appeared freshly burned due to the smell that emanated from the trunk. At that moment, they thought they heard a howl coming from the doorway to the house. One moment they thought it was Evelyn, but upon getting closer and opening the door, they found nothing at all. It was sound like that of a toto, like that of a something, a musical instrument, but it came from the sky. Modesto and Olga never found their youngest daughter again. The police were notified and were sent to radio stations to a television channel. To a television channel, stations and to a television channel. But the whereabouts of their daughter were never discovered. Doctor, I feel the fairies took my little angel. Otherwise, how can I explain her disappearance? Not even the dogs barked. Nothing. The information provided Modesto, well, it makes one to think about an abduction. What is strange about the case is why was the child taken after the alleged baptism? Could that they were awaiting her baptism before taking her? If so, what reason could they possibly have to kidnap a not quite 5-year-old child? What entities kidnapped the girl? What was the transparent food she was offered? Why was she scolded after her baptism? Why was she later intoxicated, drugged, or put to sleep? Why did the parents not notice anything? What was the meaning of the cobweb-like substance? The burned tree mark. Why was there any radiation involved? What? Interesting. You don't really mention anything about there being any of that in the article. But you do mention the other stuff. I don't mention about any one particular thing, but very strange. Let's go maybe look at some more articles. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Which when we condemn the sailing trials, aliens, sinister creatures that need to and their need to feast on us. Let's take a look at this. The world around us is not as it appears to be. In fact, it's far from it. As we go about our daily business, working and living our lives behind the scenes, something dark and dangerous is taking place, and it has been going on since the dawn of civilization. Most people remain oblivious to the truth and don't even realize it. Now and again, however, someone will stumble upon the startling reality, potentially affects and dictates their lives about us. What am I talking about? Nothing less than a monstrous collection of supernatural entities that terrify and torment us, have done so for millennia. They do far more than that. However, they feed upon us like bloated paranormal leeches. Suck us dry as they seek to fuel themselves with our psychic energy, with high states of emotion, sexual energy, and the human life force. They hate and despise us, but paradoxically, they cannot live without us. Extensive data exists which strongly suggests that the human soul, essence, life force, is something that all of these entities, the vast majority of which exist in states of pure energy, but which can only take on just about any form they choose, need to survive. Have you ever woken up drained and utterly exhausted from a terrifying nightmare that didn't seem like just another regular dream? If the answer is yes, then you may have been fed upon by these infernal beings. When we sleep, we are at our most vulnerable. That's exactly how they want us. A dream is not always a dream, as strange as that might sound. Sometimes is an indication that as you sleep and as your guard is down, these voraciously hungry monsters are in your essence eating you. Among these creatures, shadow people, hostile things that typically manifest between 1 o'clock a.m. and 4 o'clock a.m., and who have the ability to paralyze us, drain our bodies of energy in much the same way that vampires of folklore would drain people of blood. In fact, as the book shows, such distorted tales of vampires almost certainly had their origins in the worlds and actions of words, have their origins in the actions of these multidimensional things. Equally dangerous are what are accurately be termed supernatural seducers, changers, entities that thrive in sexual energy, such as organ energies, theorized and documented by William Rich. Also part of the equation, a highly charged sexual dream may be deliberately initiated by such things which over the centuries have been referred to as incubus, succubus, Lilith, and the old hag. Also relevant to this angle is the reason why so many supernatural encounters occur at so-called lovers' lane locations. In these cases, voyeurism and sexual emotion lead to feeding. Poltergeists, violent entities that can cause chaos in the home, and what delight in tormenting us as much as they are energized by us. Also part of the equation are the thought forms and tulpas, creatures created within the human mind in the depths of our imagination, but which can be externalized and given a strange form of life in the real world. Key to the survival of tulpas or thought forms is that we believe in them. The stronger our belief, the greater the ability of the tuples to live. In other words, they feed on and carefully nurture our belief systems. Then there is Slender Man, a sinister figure which started out as an internet experiment, but which has mutated drastically in the last few years to the extent that numerous people have reported having seen the Slender Man in the real world. It's a perfect example of a modern-day tulpa thought form running wild in our reality. Witnesses describe seeing the scrawny black-suited figure looming over their beds, and in the dead of night, extracting the energy like draining and fashion. It would even have chilled the likes of H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Poe. Edgar Poe, huh? The men in black fall into this category too. Those who have had UFO encounters have been visited pale-faced ghouls known as the MIB state they, while being threatened and intimidated by the men in black, that they have felt cold, clammy, weak, and lightheaded. As many of the unfortunate witnesses have stated, it's as if the MIB are draining them in the same way that a flashlight drains a battery. And using the same analogy, when the light finally goes out, we do too. Now it is time Time to take an in-depth look at all of this, the above and multiple other supernatural creatures too that see us as nourishment and nothing else. The list includes angry ghosts, the extraterrestrial greys of ufology, reptilian creatures that are also part of the UFO lore, monsters that inspired Bram Stoker, classic novel Dracula, and supernatural cats that, according to ancient lore, steal our breath as we sleep. The stark and terrifying truth is that Earth might be one big factory, or one big, creator of these things. Interesting. There's an interesting article going and tells about this stuff. As a good, basically, we read another article like this, but this article goes in depth in it as well about Earth creating these creatures and stuff, about all this weird stuff. Very, very interesting and very well read. Good to read. I like it. Now, folks, I'm going to end my live stream, I think. Please go and subscribe. We had a good one tonight, huh? Very good. We talked about weird creatures. This article we just talked about went in more depth about the Earth, more in depth into the fact that Earth might be creating fairies and aliens. And this one basically took a turn where it was basically talking about vampires and such, and basically eating people. Very, very good to read about, huh? Now, folks, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. The there in the title is misspelled. It's THERE, so it's easier to find. Make sure you're still subscribed to my channel, as well as leave some comments down below. As well as please go and share this. Hit that like button. Hit that like button so more people can see my content. Okay, and the more people that see my content means my graphic novel Scumdogs comes out all the sooner. Hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications for my videos. Remember, if you want to watch this episode again, go to my Twitter page at @777 MegaChris1. It'll be the first pinned tweet. Hit that bell. I did that. Share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. I got that and stuff like that. Hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications, as well as share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. Maybe we should do that one more time. Hit that bell, hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications, hit that like button. Remember, if you want to watch this episode again, go to my Twitter page on at @77 MegaChris1. It will be the first pinned tweet. It's @77 MegaChris1. It'll be the first pinned tweet. Also, please share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. Remember, folks, go over to Stitch Together Pics. It's a YouTube channel that deserves 4 more subscribers. It's hosted by the Maniacal Cinephile. He does some great content on his channel. You're going to laugh at his videos. They are great. He does this character called the Maniacal Cinephile, who has multiple personalities. So you're not getting one character, you're getting a whole bunch of them, and they are fun to watch. As well as go over and subscribe to Creepy Little Book. Creepy Little Book is like the Art Bell radio show. He releases small videos he makes small videos talking about high strangeness, but he also does live streams every night. On weekdays, he live streams at 12:30 a.m., and on weekends, he live streams at 10 o'clock p.m. He talks about aliens and ghosts, and you learn so much from watching his live streams. He talks about fairies as well as dogmen, as well as aliens and stuff like that, and you learn so much from watching his live streams. Go and subscribe to Creepy Little Book. All right. Remember, folks, I'll be back again tomorrow around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock p.m. or 11 o'clock p.m. for another live stream, so be sure to go and come back. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me.